In this video, I want to talk about my first impressions after owning a Kemper profiler. And I think it's important that I distinguish the fact that this is not the first time I've used a Kemper, but it is the first time that I've owned one. I was lucky enough to be able to buy one pre-owned, and it's already loaded up with a bunch of really cool sounds and effects. It's important that I distinguish this because when I had used one previously, I didn't have control of the Kemper. Somebody else was kind of controlling it for me, going through all the effects and going through all the tones that they had at their fingertips. But now, with me being able to sit here and mess with this Kemper for a while, it gives me a lot more freedom to kind of do a deeper dive into it. And so this video is really more of a first impressions after owning it, after being able to sit here for a couple of hours and really jamming on it, because this thing is ripping. And the tones that you can get out of this thing are monstrous and a little bit overwhelming, if I could be so bold as to say, because there is a lot to cover in this thing. I was lucky enough to also get a rack piece, which is cool because I don't really have room for the floorboard. Now, if a floorboard presented itself, I wouldn't have said no to being able to get that as well. But the rack piece is nice because I had some space in my rack here. And I will say that the Kemper Profiler is going to be fantastic for my YouTube channel here and making videos, because now I don't necessarily need to spend a lot of time miking up amps, although I love doing that, and I have collected a ton of different microphones over the years and some really cool amps that I've spent like way too much money that I don't even want to say how much money I've spent on these amps over the years. There is something cool about having the Kemper and just going straight into that and then straight into my Pro Tools rig and not having to worry about that, which is it's absolutely fantastic. I don't have to worry about that at all, do I? I don't know what that accent was. I just went completely crazy for a second. That being said, I'm completely new to Kempers, and I've only got a couple of hours that I messed around with this thing the other night while it was hurricaning here in Florida. We didn't lose any power, but there was nothing really to do because we were off work. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to mess with this Kemper, which is kind of cool. Again, I am new to this thing. So if you have any tips for me or for others who might be watching this video when messing with the Kemper, let me know in the comments. That is my call to action in this video. Let me know in the comments tips on the Kemper, or if you have any insights or things that I should be doing differently on it, because again, this thing is overwhelming. When I first started digging through it, I'm like, wow, there's a lot going on with this. So share what you know, share your knowledge of the Kemper, and if you don't know anything, well, let's figure it out together in this video. All right, let's just start playing this thing. This Kemper was already loaded up with a bunch of stuff from the previous owner. I don't really know everything that he's got on there. I just kind of cycled through. But this first thing that I really fell in love with was actually this Ingle Powerfall setting, which is just awesome. Let me move this here. It's pretty aggressive, as we can hear. Bitey. And you might be like, oh, okay, that's like way over the top, which is what I was like at first. But when you go through some of these, you realize quickly that it's not necessarily super over the top. Here, let me scroll through some of the presets. I think personally that the Kemper Profiler is it's a recording engineer's wet dream, but it's also a metalhead's wet dream, because some of the amps, at least some of the ones that I have in this one, are just over the top with that crazy distortion. which is just makes it so fun to just rip on it because it's so just like over the top saturated with that gain and that distortion and that breakup. I'm a big fan of that. Really cool. That's just a crazy what Marshall CM800. So KKA. I don't know what the KK means. Quickly too, I love the fact that this has a very accurate strobo like tuner built into the Kemper, which is really neat. I think that alone is a huge selling point for the Kemper because I absolutely hate snark tuners or any clip-on tuners unless it's a strobe tuner now. The fact that I could just go to the tuner and just start tuning to be super precise, get it as close to zero as I can is great. It's perfect because, you know, I do play Gibson guitars, which are notoriously, like, out of tune all the time. Okay, the Silver Jubilee is one of my favorite tones, so let's take a listen. Great. It sounds just really cool. You know, one of the things that's interesting is I'm going straight to my speakers here, my studio monitors, so you don't get that huge warm push of like my amplifiers, which would be back here, but you still get that direct tone, which sounds very cool. And I think that's one of the things that makes this thing just a key studio piece or a guy who likes to do video and YouTube stuff. It's perfect for those kind of guys, so cool. Some clean tone. Let's get through these Marshalls. I'm done with Marshall. That's the one thing, or at least this one that is loaded up. There's like so many Marshalls, it's ridiculous. I'm just going to scroll through all these. Okay, now we're in the land of the Mesa Boogie, and let me tell you, it boogies. And I don't know if it's just me, but the cleans, at least in the Mesa Boogies, sound different. They don't sound like you would when you would have like a chimey Fender amp, like an actual analog amp in front of us. I don't know. Maybe it's just the air, the power of the speaker not pushing the same because the amp is like pushing that all around and you have that kind of ethereal sound all around you. If that makes any sense, that probably doesn't make any sense. Take everything that I say with a grain of salt when watching my videos, but if you learn anything, cool. The science behind the clean sounds is just completely baffling. All right, sweet. Now we're getting into the land of the orange stuff, so very cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. Give me more orange, baby. Okay, this is interesting. This is a orange rock reverb with a Mesa Boogie cab, I'm guessing is what the C stands for, which is cool because I actually have a Mesa or an orange rock reverb. I don't know if you can see it right behind me right there. But I also have a Mesa Boogie 412 cabinet right in my closet there. So, this is an interesting sound. I like that. I like that a lot, and it's kind of cool to be able to hear such a familiar, maybe it's a nostalgic tone for me because that's like mostly what I play, that kind of thing. How's that nostalgic? It's not nostalgic. It's nostalgic because it's emulating it. It's like I remember it from yesterday. But it's the same thing. It's right here. And it sounds pretty close. But what I should do in the future is a video on this sound versus mic'd up with the same exact thing going on. If you want to see that, let me know. I'd be interested to see that. I'm letting myself know that I want to see that. The PV, which might sound like a PV. I don't have a PV here to identify. It's crazy how just changing the cab, you can hear such differences in tone. Randall amplifiers, Randall amplification. And to me, that does kind of sound like some Pantera there. Very aggressive, beefy. The tone is beefy like a steak. Soldano. See, I don't even know what some of these are. That royalty 111. Interesting. It sounds good. Sounds, very cool. Okay, so I guess some presets come with effects already on them, which is kind of cool. It's got some tremolo. What's going on now because these don't seem to be like amps. I've never heard of an amp called the Chief Dirty. Maybe these are just presets from some sort of pack that somebody put on here. I don't know. I don't know at all. And I noticed that they have effects on them too. I think touch a reverb? Maybe I'm just going deaf. Till's Rectoverb. Somebody's pack. Somebody's Rectoverb. TJ, he was a fan of the BM, and he was clean. range bass, so I guess you might be able to get some bass tones. Interesting. I never considered using a bass in the Kemper, but I'm not a very smart person. I guess once you reach the end, it won't go back to the start, which it's a very minor gripe. I don't really care, but now I'm going to take 5 minutes to scroll back to the top. This is cool. Here's the Eddie Van Halen stuff. Okay, so I found this really cool high watt tone. If you don't know what high watt is, they make a cool amp. They're a really cool, I don't know, they kind of remind me of Marshalls. They got that kind of cool grit to them. This kind of sounds like some old school Black Sabbath. All right, cool. Now we're getting into the Friedman stuff, which I also have right behind me. So let's hear how that sounds. Okay, so I can go through these all day. There's a ridiculous amount of tones. A lot of them are very heavy tones. You have way more heavy, I think, than clean, at least in this. But they have so many different versatile options for you. And, of course, you can adjust all of the EQ. You even have a presence knob, which is pretty cool. So you have complete control of your sound, which is something that I really like. But I think now I want to dive into the effects a little bit and see how they hold up. So that's great that we figured that out, but we're still on a journey to figure out how to get to the effects menu in the first place. So let's take our time. I did it the other night. I know I did. You've got a noise gate here, which is fantastic, especially if you're a rock or a metal player. That's great. Okay, by holding that delay, I was able to get that delay, which sounds great. And I can change the delay time. I can change the parameters. Longer delay. Cool. Here we go. That's how we do it. So let's go through the delays. We have a dual delay. Single. Let's start with single delay. Echo machine. Oh, I love that one. That's a great sound. Gritty. Oh, I skipped gritty. I went warm. Gritty. Very subtle. Very nice. I like that a lot. Warm. And a digital effect. Nice. Chorus. Oh. Almost sounds like a flanger a little bit. Moogish. It sounds like a moog. So many delays. Crinkle. Oh yeah, that sounds like a crinkle. If I say the word crinkle, that's exactly what I mean. Hey baby, you like crinkle? She's like, I thought you meant potato chips. All right, room slap. Here we go. Okay, that's what we would expect. Oh, and of course our reverse delays. Okay, let's go to the next effect down. Pitch delay. A half reverse pad. That's what it sounds like when you reach the gates of heaven. I like that. Very progressive Devin Townsend feeling to me. Okay, let's keep going. Warm pad. Underwater. I was recording somebody once and they said that they wanted me to make it sound like it was underwater, and I was like, what is that, like a bandpass EQ? Is that what this is? I guess it sounds like your guitar's drowning. Cool, let's keep going. Big and dirty. Everybody's favorite. Fifth. Okay, cool. Harmonies. Awesome. So that's enough to pitch delay because that's madness. Let's go to the reverbs. Reverb, spring reverbs. Oh, surf, great. Musical box. Okay, wait, it goes back. So, what if I just wanted like a plate reverb? A circus reverb? Cyrus reverb. I can't read. Although it sounds kind of circusy to me. Welcome to hell, kid. All right, let's keep going. A formant reverb, which I have heard on a Strymon Mobius. These sound cool. Oh, dramatic. It's like a harmonized reverb. Flangers. Wow. That's a great flanger right there. I like that a lot. I don't know why I'm whispering. phasers. Oh, skip phaser. They just don't make them like that anymore. So cool. So we have, we got the Eddie phaser. Cool. God, that was rough, but still. We have a noise gate, which is great, but we have a separate noise gate here, but different ratios, 4 to 1, 2 to 1. Compressors. Yeah. Equalizers. Yeah. Boost distortion pedals. Okay, 808. So that's the old Ibanez Tube Screamer. Blues Breaker. Marshall Blues Breaker. What would have that? God, that's a noisy pedal. To be completely honest with you, I don't know why I would ever really use any of these distortions or these stomp boxes or whatever they are in front of what I can already get out of this, because it already sounds so brutal, and I also have a ton of pedals that I would probably just put in front of the input here. That's kind of cool. Lastly, the wah-wah, which is the most impressive pedal of them all, and I frequently use it to hide all of the mistakes in my guitar playing. So if you ever listen to some Quasi-Mojo, which is my band, and a shameless self-plug, and you hear some wah-wah, you just know that I couldn't actually play that part, so I was like, screw it, have some wah-wah. Okay, crybaby sound. It sounds like bad to me. That doesn't sound good at all. Sounds like it's choked. To me, that's what underwater sounds like. We're talking about underwater. Let's keep going. They have the wah-wah I use. Oh, they have a bad horsey. The horsey, the vi-vi. The vi-vi. Sounds kind of cool in its own way, but to me that doesn't sound like... The thing with a wah to me is it's so expressive, and you kind of want your own control of it, your throws within your notes, or to go, crazy on it. So I would probably throw the old wah in front of the old Kemper Meister here, take control of it myself, and I wouldn't let the Kemper even operate anywhere near the wah-wah levels. Anyway, that's a lot of the effects, and I think that's enough of the effects for now. I think you might get an idea. Again, I'm learning this thing. I don't have many hours on this yet, so if you're watching it going, God, this guy's driving me crazy, hey, I'm just bringing you the truth, no matter how bad it hurts. I will say, I've taken the time to just program some drums here on Easy Drummer. I'm going to be using one of my favorite sounds that I was able to find so far, which is actually the Ingle. This sound called the Powerfall. Pretty cool sounding. I think it sounds pretty nice. Pretty aggressive. I am just going to throw down on this little drum beat that I made so we can hear it in all of its glory. Okay, so the second tone that I chose was this orange matte fuzz. All right, so here are my final impressions on the Kemper Profiler. I should not have slept on this for so long, and it's not like I slept on it. Like I said, I've used it before in studio applications before. Where some of the guys that I've been working with have been like, "Oh, I have a Kemper. Do you want to use a Kemper?" And I have used it in conjunction with an actual amp, like my Rocker Verb and Friedman, and then a Kemper, and then had like 3 guitar tracks coming out into a session. Yeah, it sounds really cool. It sounds really good. But by itself, this thing is fantastic. So if you ever get the opportunity to purchase one, I highly recommend it. I ask you if there are any tips or tricks that you want to know on this thing, or that you do already know that I don't know, because I don't know a lot about this thing. Let me know in the comments. If you like this kind of stuff, be sure to like and subscribe, of course, because I'm thinking about doing some more deeper dive at the Kemper, and I'm thinking about starting to do more content on the Kemper in general. Like maybe we should profile my amps in the future and give them away or something like that. My first impression after owning this thing for a little while, I'd say I'd have a couple hours on this thing now. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. This thing rocks. I'm completely sold on it. If you're interested in any lesson videos, I'm starting to do more lesson stuff on YouTube. And I also have a free rock guitar guide, which you can download on my website, riffwithcliff.com. Be sure and go to that website link in the description, and you can download my free guitar guide, complete with tabs. Make sure you take advantage of that. But if you want to see some other lessons that I have to offer here on my YouTube channel, be sure and check out these videos here. I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you guys the next time that I see ya. Peace.